Recently, the subject of recalls has caught my interest. The idea that a product, specifically toys, are released to the public market by the thousands. Then months, even years later, it's suddenly discovered that those toys have an issue that should have been dealt with when they were being manufactured. Sometimes it's a harmless defect like a broken button or light, but in many cases a more serious hazard that could affect your health. Some of you may have heard or even experienced the wooden railway recalls from 2007, when high levels of lead paint had over 1.5 million items in the United States be checked. However, this was not the first time Thomas merchandise was a cause for national concern, with something similar happening during the mid-1980s in England, and that toy range was ERTL. The whistle was blown when a trading standards officer visited the toy and hobby store at the Hodshaw Center in St. Helens. He bought 3 models of Thomas, and sent the 2 made by ERTL to the Merseyside County Analyst Department for testing. When safety checks were done on them, scientists found that the red stripes on the die-cast shells contained 45 and 46 times the legal amount of lead in the paint. What's more, these models were just 2 of around 130,000 of ERTL's Thomas products that had been imported from China in 1985. In December of that year, the company had been warned by the Strathclyde Council for the high lead levels. But when Peter Murphy of the St. Helens Council publicly announced their findings in August 1986, management of ERTL claimed that they had only been selling the model since April. But why did this happen in the first place? Well, ERTL technically was following regulations, but in the wrong country. Tony Kretsch, representing ERTL, explained that because the company's headquarters were based in Iowa, it was following the certificate for the permitted amount of lead in America, which was far above the allowed limit in England, so the USA was more relaxed on consuming lead, go figure. Tony Kretsch stated that, "A new stock is being manufactured to English standards. I understand that heads have rolled in the Hong Kong office, and that they are fairly important heads." Throughout the autumn of 1986 and into the winter of 1987, newspapers ran dozens of warning articles, with the Liverpool Echo headlining it, "Thomas the Poison Loco." Yeah, I'm sure the reporter felt real smart for coming up with that title. Many shopkeepers, including ones in Devon, Gloucester, and Cheshire, had their stock examined, and they too reported back various dangerous levels of lead in the paint samples. Magistrates also ordered ERTL to hand over the 45,000 Thomas toys that were in the company's UK distribution warehouse in Exeter. ERTL pleaded guilty to more than 9 offences from several towns, and were fined a maximum of £2,000 each, with additional cost. Bernard Lesky, prosecuting, said that these were the highest lead levels he had come across in 20 years. Fortunately, all the bad stock would be removed, and by March 1987, ERTL was given a clean bill of health, with shops now carrying safer Thomas toys. From then on, the company would make sure to avoid such recalls happening again. Except for the battery-operated Thomases that would catch fire.